Hi ladies, welcome to our first makeup webinar class. So hopefully this all goes well. You guys can follow along with on yourselves or on your model. Okay, so I'm going to start off with, I start off with a clean face. I'm just going to mist myself. My skin's been really dry lately. And I'm going to start with the green primer. So I'm just going to use this and I'm going to put it just on my hands. I'm just going to put this just a little bit on my cheeks. So I'm quite red on my cheeks and on my chin right now. So I'm just going to rub this in. So we can remember that green is a complementary color to red. So that helps to even out the redness on our skin. Next, what I've done is I've used the lightest color of foundation, and then I've added 1 pump of the darker color. I'm also going to add just a drop of my facial oil, again, because I said my skin's been really dry lately. Now, I didn't get a chance to wash my brushes. I encourage you guys to do that, but I didn't get a chance to. So I am just going to use my fingers just so I don't get the fallout from the stippling brush. So I'm just going to dot and dot and just apply to my face. I find that by adding the facial oil, it definitely makes this foundation go on a lot easier. Sorry, the lighting isn't the best. All right. So we just evened out our skin. Now I am going to use probably the light, I'm going to probably do the darker, the medium concealer, the 510. And I'll just use a little bit of the lighter color just because I am quite fair. Now with the concealers, what you want to make sure that you're doing is just applying it where you need it. So I've already evened out my skin tone. I am seeing that I do have some dark circles through here, and I always have redness around my nose. So what I'm going to do now is just mix these two colors together again. I just have my little palette just down here in front of me. And I am just going to apply this just where the darkest is. So for me, I have dark circles. I'm just going to apply this just in the darkest area. And then I'm going to blend out and up. No, I also use my concealer all across my eyelid just because I do have quite veiny eyelids because I am so fair. So I'm going to do that right now as well. Now the big thing with concealer right now, I'm just kind of wiping off any excess on my hands. I don't want to have too much product on, so I don't want to build it up and look cakey. I'd rather build it up in layers so that it will look more even as I'm applying it, or as the finished finished product. So I'm just going to place this on my eyes. And my lashes all the way up to my brows. And you can see I'm just tilting my head a little bit more forward. And you can get your client to do that as well, just so that you're applying it right where you can see that darker, where the darker color is. And as estheticians, you are allowed to touch the face with fingers, and makeup artists do it as well, but as estheticians, it's completely acceptable to touch the skin with the client's skin with your hands when you're applying makeup. I'm just gonna go into my nose a bit, just in those corners, and into my marionette lines. And then I have this blemish on my lip there, so I'm just gonna cover that up as well. I'm gonna go over just the lines of my lips, just over the edges, just so that when I do use my lip liner, that I can get a nice clean edge. Now I want to make sure that this is completely dry before I go to add on my powder. I am thinking for me, I would like a little bit more coverage just on my cheeks. So I'm going to go back in with my stippling brush, which is this one that you guys have. Dab a little bit. And then with this, you're just going to work in circles. I'm going to paint it on. I'm just going to get a little bit more coverage. Make sure we're bringing it down our necks. And my forehead as well. Okay, so that's your step one. That's applying your base. So we've done the green primer. I used a combination of both of the light and the medium for your foundations. And for your concealer, again, I used a combination of the light and the medium. Okay. I've also used my concealer brush and my stippling brush. Now next I'm going to use the lightest powder for myself with the powder brush once this sets. So with mineral makeup, it's really important when you're applying powders to press it into the skin. You don't want to really brush it, or the powder or the color is just going to go everywhere. You want to make sure that you're pressing it into the skin. You also want to make sure with any makeup that your base or any liquid is completely dry before you're adding on the powder. If you don't, it will look cakey and it grabs in different areas and the powder won't apply evenly. Okay? Let's drop this dry. We're about good. Okay, so next I'm going to apply the light powder. If I can open it. Go. Okay. And I'm just pressing this. So grab your color, tap any excess powder off, and then apply. Pat into your skin. Now this is just going to create a base for any of the other powders that we're going onto our skin next. We also want to make sure that we're setting our makeup or our client's makeup so it will last. If we do not put powder on our liquid base, it will not stay. Okay. I'm gonna go in with my blush brush and I'm just gonna use this on the tops of my eyes because I want to make sure I get like a really good base for when I put my shadow on. And I just noticed I don't have a liner brush in my kit. I think you guys do. So I will do a little brow fill-in tutorial at a later time. Okay, so I'm happy with my powder now. My makeup is set. So now what I'm going to do is my eye. So I'm just going to do the normal eye that I would do on a regular basis. Super easy. You can do it on your clients or on yourselves. So I am going to first start with, which palette am I going to use? I'm going to use our brown one, this one right here. And the first color I'm going to use is I'm going to go in with this medium shade with this brush here. Okay. So actually, no, I'm going to do the lighter one. I'm going to do this one. Oops, this one right here. I'm pretty sure this is the same one you guys have. I just picked this up from the school just before spring break started. So I'm pretty sure it's the same colors as you. It might be from the new classes. So some of the colors might be just slightly off. Okay, so now I have that color on my brush, tapping it off. What I want to do is apply that color here and then in a kind of like a V. Hi, ladies. Sorry about that. Okay, so where were we? We're using this brush with the, well, like a medium brown, tapping it off and um, applying right here. So in the corners and across. So the larger the brush, the less color, or the like the lighter the color will appear as you're applying it. So already looks fairly dramatic without doing much effort, which is really great. So next one, apply in here. So I'm going from the corner here across my lash line and up to my kind of halfway through my brow. I always call this as the windshield wiper, going back and forth. Okay. So I'm doing it about half and half. Just gonna look to make sure they're even. Yes, they are. There you go. Now, what I like to do as well is just use a little swipe of color of that color underneath. Kind of like doing like a little baby smoky eye, just for like a daytime smoky eye, as I like to call it. So I'm going to use my concealer brush. Normally I would use my liner brush, and I'm just going to apply that, go from the corner here and just go underneath about halfway again. Now it's looking a lot darker on this video than it actually is looking in real life, but that's good, because then you guys can follow along really well. Now this look you can do with whatever colors you like. This I'm just using the browns today so that it has like a natural kind of deep tone. Right. So I'm happy with that. It's even. I've brought it about halfway across my lower lashes as well. Now what I'm going to do is use the next color over, which is like a medium brown. I'm going to do the same technique, but I'm just going to apply less product. I don't know if you can see that. So I've just applied a tiny little bit just on the edge of the brush, again tapping off, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to leave a little bit of the lighter brown to show, and then the darker brown will be underneath. So then when I go to blend, the two colors will blend together. So again, placing here, going underneath and up. And this is just going to give a little bit more definition. Too bad I wasn't allowed out of the house. I look really nice after this. Okay. I was thinking of using Haley as my model today, but I don't think that would be appropriate to do a smoky eye on a 4-year-old. Maybe next time. I'm sure she'd be all into it if she could sit still long enough. Okay, so I'm happy here with that. So I'm just going in just a little bit darker. You guys can see. Now, what I want to do is brighten up my eyes that I've done so far. So I'm going to use the brush that comes with these palettes. I'm going to use this really pretty sparkly one. Colors again don't look the same, but it's like a peachy kind of sparkle. Now, with this, again, applying, tapping off, I'm going to apply this in the center of my eye and then blend into the corners of my eye. So stop here and then blend in into the corner of my eye, and then I'm going to bring this underneath to connect with the other color that we brought over. Again, stop here and over. Great. All right, so now I'm going to take that brush again, just going to clear off any excess product that I have. And if I'm looking here, you can see it's not looking quite even. It's because our eyes and our whole face isn't going to be symmetrical. So I think this eye is my favorite eye, and this is my unfavorite eye. So you can see how here it's not looking perfect. So I can just take my Q-tip and just kind of blend this up so I can get the shape that I want. I don't have any makeup sponges, so that's why I'm unable to do that. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to go in again with that sparkly color, and I'm going to apply it just underneath my brows and just do a stripe on top of that darker color. Now, depending on your technique and the look that you like for makeup, some people would like to leave it like this, where it's more of a defined kind of shades. I personally like it when colors are more blended in. So what I've done is I've just picked up that lightest brown that I started with, going in, and just to bring it and make it all even. And I'm just going to blend this out, just to make it all even there. So I'm happy with that so far. For liners, usually I would go in with a brown or with my liner brush. Unfortunately, I don't have either of those. I only have black, so that's what I'll be using today. So with liner, the idea when you're doing kind of like a natural look is that you don't want it to see. You don't want people to know that you have it on. It's going to be a continuation of your mascara. You kind of want to work it in between your lashes so that you can get a really nice line and like a good base to your mascara and for your lashes, just to continue them, to make them look longer. So I'm just going to hold my skin here, my high, and let's see, I'm just going to, normally I would start on the outer corner right here. I'm just going to go lightly on the side and just go right along my lash line. If I was doing evening makeup, I would be a little bit more dramatic with the amount of color that, or the amount of line that I would be using. The amount of line, the thickness of the line, I should say. No, I'm not doing any wings. I'm just going along my lash line. All right, there we go, ladies. All right, eyes done. So this actually went on with minimal fallout. I don't have any color underneath, which is great. So now I'm going to go on to cheeks. So with the cheek color in this that we have in our kits, I'm going to use the kind of the peachy color from this one here. So I'm going to be using this one as my blush color. Now, a really cool trick that I learned from the Makeup Forever makeup classes is that when you're doing blush, you kind of want to do a figure 8. So I have nothing on my blush right now. So the idea with makeup is that you want somebody to look at your whole face, not just your face that stops here. So our faces aren't flat, they're 3D, and that's where contouring comes in as well. So when we are doing blush, we don't want to add too much color to the front, or else we're going to look, we basically took all the redness out of my face, so I don't want to add more redness to it. So what I'm going to be doing is adding more color to the outside of my face. So I'm actually going to do like a figure 8 motion like this on each side. Again, we don't want to put the most, whenever we put the brush directly on our skin, it's going to deposit the most color. So we don't want the most color on the front or on the back, we kind of want that in the middle. Okay. So I'm going to do this peachy color. Hopefully it looks okay on you. So again, we're going to apply here and do a figure 8. All right. There we go. Blush. Now we're going to go in and contour. I'm going to use the browns again. So the same color that I used for my eyeshadow color, this one right here, I'm going to use that for my contour. Now for my face, I used to have a heart face, but in this video I look like I have a bit of a double chin. So I'm definitely going to contour that. So let's start with my double chin. So what I'm going to do is just apply this dark color here. Now contouring in real life and contouring for makeup or for video, for photos or video is going to be a lot different because it depends on how much light. So we want to make sure that if we are applying contour for everyday life, that it's not dramatic. It should just be like a shadow. The contour is the shadow and the highlight is something that you want to bring forward. So there we go, double chin gone. Now I'm going to apply that again, same color, and I'm just going to go underneath my jaw or underneath my cheekbone. So I've applied my blush here, and then just underneath my cheekbone right here, that's where I'm going to put my contour. So I'm starting at the corner, and I'm going to kind of do a V or a triangle. Now I'll use a darker color just so you can see what it should look like. Obviously that color you're not going to want to do on a daily basis, but just so you guys can see what shape we're going for. Okay. I don't even think I'll be able to blend that one out. All right. So that would be the contour shape ideal that you're going, but not that color. Okay. I'm also going to go around the top of my forehead just to make that forehead look a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go here. So again, you can see the color there. Now, if I wanted to make my nose smaller, I would put the color down the top of my nose. The big thing with contouring is that you don't want it to make it look like you're wearing, contour and bronzer is different. So contour is creating shadow. Bronzer, you're applying where the sun would naturally hit you. Now, on a daily basis, this is what I would contour. I would contour my forehead and I would do a little bit on my cheeks, just so that I have a little bit of definition. Sometimes I will contour the sides of my nose. So what that looks like is, again, I'll use this lighter brush. I'm going to use this one here. I'm just going along the sides of my nose and continuing up here. There's that really great MAC video on contour. I'll actually post it for us so you guys can watch it and follow along. Now my nose is not straight, so by using contour, I can actually make it look straighter. And if I don't want to make it look so long, just add a little bit of color there. All right, contouring. Now highlighting. Highlighting, you're bringing color forward. So again, I'm going to use this brush just because we have limited brushes in our kit. Just going to blend this out a bit. So I'm using my powder brush. I don't know if this will come off, but we'll see if we can blend this out. It's looking a bit better. You don't want to have any defined lines. So this side looks better. You can't see that line compared to that one. There we go. Okay, so highlight, we're bringing the color, we're bringing something forward. So you always want to bring the tops of your cheeks. You can do your lip, up brows and above your brows. And then depending on the shape of your nose, so if you want to make your nose bigger, your chin more prominent, then you would use the lighter colors there. So today I am going to use a shimmer color. Depending on the age of your client, you won't want to use a shimmer. Hi ladies, sorry, I'm back. Okay, so contour, now highlight. The same brush, I'm going to use the shimmery color. Depending on the age of your client, you don't want to use too much shimmer. I'm on that verge. I can still use shimmer in some places, but sometimes I can't use shimmer because it will just accent any lines that I do have. So I'm just going to apply this to the top of my cheekbones, kind of under my eyes. But you don't want to have the reverse raccoon effect. You don't want to have too light under your eyes and then it look unnatural. Again, I'm going to apply this on the top of my cheekbone on this side too. So you can kind of see it here. So you have your cheek, your highlight, your cheek color, your contour. Now I'm going to use this light color brush here. Actually, no, we'll use this one. Make sure there's no excess color on there. Again, we've done it underneath the brows already. But what you can do is you're going to just go a little bit on top. Now, if I had my liner brush to do my brows, I would have done that after my eye makeup. And what I would have done is just filled in the edges here and then filled in the front, just to have my brows look more filled in and just a little bit longer. Okay, so that's your highlight. Next is lips. So with lip color, as clients age and as we age, that's the best way to make your client look younger is to actually use a brighter color on their lips because it will make them look and appear younger, which is pretty neat. So in our kits, I feel like you guys have a pink more one that's a little bit more pink, but this is kind of like a nudie color and then the nude lip liner as well. So when we're doing lips, we want to look at the shape of our lip. So I have a very small upper lip, but they're fairly even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of go just outside my lip line and just bring this kind of lip line just a little bit out, just a little bit more, right? So I just want to do, again, when we're doing any pencil, you don't want to color like you're coloring. You want to use the sides. So you'll get a softer line and it'll be easier, easier to control, and you won't get like the fallout like you're pushing too hard. And the color is just very, very light. So you're just going really like. No, I don't think I got a lip brush either in my kit. I think you guys do. Now, if I wanted this to last all day, I'm going to fill in my whole lip. All right. Now, since I don't have a lip brush, I'm just going to use my concealer brush. So the concealer brush and the lip brush both have synthetic bristles. So with synthetic bristles, you can use them on a cream or a liquid. You ideally don't want to use your natural bristles on a liquid because they're very porous and it's really hard to clean them afterwards. So my lipstick is right in front of me. So what I would do, I'm going to just take some of this off just with my trusty Q-tips. And I'm just going to apply this. This is not the ideal color for me. A little too light. So what I actually can do, and this would be very dark. So because my lips are so small, ideally I would want to use like a medium color. I don't want to go too dark or else it will make my lips kind of look very small. So remember how I said dark makes things look smaller, and that's the same as it goes for lip color as well. So I'm going to try this. We'll see what it looks like. Let's use a little bit of this darker color. I'm just mixing it on my palette below me here. I'm just going to add it just on top of that first kind of new color that we had. Just to have a little bit more color for my lips. So that looks better. I actually have lips again. Now I just want to make sure that my shape is all even. There we go. There we are. All right. So last thing is mascara. So one moment. Now, I think you guys all have the same mascara. So with this one, again, I don't have any disposable mascara wands. So I guess I have new mascara now. So with mascara, you always want to make sure that you're using you would remove this and you would apply your disposable mascara wand into this area. This part is the white. This is a primer. So you're applying that first, and then you would go in and use the dark color. So for most of you, if you're just using it on yourselves, then completely use it on yourself. But once I've used this on myself, I cannot use it on anybody else. So we'll use this here, and I'm just going to be applying from the base and wiggling up. Now, I like to do mascara last, just because my lashes are very long, and I don't want to have any transfer to my eye makeup if I'm looking around or doing anything else. Right, so there's my primer. Then I'm going to go in with the black. So with this again, we're starting at the base, working up and then shaking up. So applying and shaking up. All right, and there we go, ladies. Makeup day look. Follow along video. If you have any questions, just message me and I will be here to help. All right, have a great day, ladies. Bye.